So, welcome to the podcast, the brand new chairman of the RSPBA Northern Ireland branch, Andrew Graham. How are you? You well?
I'm good, Rob. Thank you very much for having me on. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh, well, here, congratulations on taking up the helm. Yeah, so that's
Yeah,
quite big brogues to fill. And we spoke about that at the time whenever Alistair stepped down. So, can you tell us, first of all, a bit about yourself then and your background in piping?
yeah. Well, indeed. Well, obviously, some people know me. Definitely, I'm well known around the drum major arena. I've been involved. That's my sort of connection with the pipe band. My eldest daughter, my two eldest daughters, actually, for a long, long time, when they were young, got into Highland dancing. And then through that, obviously, got an interest in the pipe bands. One went down the snare, or tenor drumming, and then snare, and then the second one went down the drum majoring route.
Yeah.
So that's really where I started to get an interest in the pipe bands. Obviously, going to support your child and thinking they're wonderful, even if they come off when they say it wasn't wonderful. But at that stage, I knew very, very little, if anything, about pipe bands. But as a parent, you're obviously supportive, and you
Yeah,
know,
well, of course. Yeah,
yeah.
that's it. So, what band have they been competing with then?
Well, my eldest one would have been
Hmm.
started off with Up Across Gar, and then she moved to Marlacoo, and then life took her over to Scotland, where she done a bit of time with Denny and Dunapace. Uh, and then my second else with the drum major, and again, our connection through family and friends was Up Across Gar, and then she became life took over, I suppose, job and work. But
Wow.
in that sort of interim period in our last year, my youngest one, Karis, who you probably know the name, Karis Graham, she
Mm-hmm.
took up the drum major. I was thought I was getting rid of one, and then obviously another one came along.
There you
And
go.
anybody that understands the drum majoring of dress and stuff, I thought I was getting rid of one pressure, but no, that wasn't to happen. She again was up with Star and then Glasgow Sky through a connection there, took her on.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's my first involvement with the pipe bands.
Wow, excellent. So, well, yeah, obviously you have quite a tenure, and a lot of people would be familiar with yourself, Andrew. And well, so those listening to the pod right now internationally might not be familiar with you, but hopefully that's by way of an introduction. I have to
Yep.
say that there was quite an interesting article that the branch put out about yourself, and it was really quite detailed. And yeah, how long did that take to put together?
I'm sort of a man with a few words, but when it comes to writing, I'm good enough that way.
Yeah.
But no, I just thought I would introduce myself as much as possible without boring too many people. But most people know me. If anybody knows me, it's usually when I'm handing out sheets at the end of the day
Yeah.
through my other position, which I've enjoyed and still hopefully will enjoy. But I've been doing it for 10 years now, so as a compiler for the Northern Ireland branch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So most people probably have seen me, but don't recognise me. They're
Oh,
coming
that's
with
it.
me with smiles, and they're coming with me with frowns. So
Yeah, so that's going to be my next question, actually. As
yeah,
being a compiler, that's quite an interesting job in itself that can be very much in the detail, Andrew, I guess, with all of that.
it is, Rob. Yeah, it's one of those ones. Just to go back again, my father, my late father, Irvin, he was a compiler,
Mm.
and one day I think it was in my article I read, I was asked to come in and help, and that was 10 years ago. So I haven't stepped out of the
Yeah.
office since. But it's a job I enjoy. It's a job I take seriously, and I think as a compiler, you have to. It's
Yeah.
attention to detail,
Mm.
and it's a lot of communication with the fellow compilers. So I'm only one of four, and really, you could maybe do it with three, but four is ideal. There's two teams. You're checking, double checking,
Yeah.
because we all know how important that double checking can be at times. So
Absolutely. Yeah. It can be quite high pressure for sure. Yeah. And a
it
lot of
can be.
people
That
lean
all
heavily
depends,
on
Rob,
that.
on
Yeah.
the yeah, it all depends on the contest as well. And not that I want to belittle any contest, but you can have a nice steady pace one day, but then the next Saturday, depending on the turnout, like if there's two arenas going and they're both finished at
Yeah.
the same time, suddenly you're inundated, and yeah, so that it does that adds to the pressure, definitely, very
There
much
you
so.
go. There's papers flying everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Absolutely. So
yeah.
who do folk go then for their sheets now? They'll be running over to you and go, "Where's my sheets, Andrew?" And then, sorry,
Well,
that's not my job anymore.
well, fortunately, I have sort of agreed with the executive office that during the day, the early part, I will still maintain my duties as a compiler.
Ah, good.
Um,
Yeah.
So I will, because I felt I didn't want to walk away from a job that got me involved in the first place and one that I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So that was sort of an agreement that I came with certain members of the executive office, and they were all very supportive and understood the reasons why for me to stay on as a compiler. The late afternoon, luckily, when things start to slow down a wee bit, it relieves me a wee bit, so then I can perform the duties of chairman at the latter stages of the day. So that in my head, Rob, that is
Sounds like a
that's
plan.
the plan,
Sounds like a plan. Yeah, so you will wear multiple hats on the day of a competition then. You'll be a busy man.
I will indeed, yes, I will indeed, yep.
So tell me then, the moment then with handing the reins over to yourself then and getting appointed then as the new chairperson, what were your thoughts when that happened?
Well, not that I want to go too far back, but last year I was approached by Alistair, the then chairman, who I've known through obviously my drum major circles, and obviously his post as chairman, and me being compiler, we talk and we get on well. He approached me last year to actually come on as his vice chair. Told me to consider it. I considered it for a few weeks. To be fair, I have to be honest, because with other organisations I'm involved with, it's sort of, do I really need the extra pressure and duties and start juggling around life and family life and everything else, work.
That's it.
As well. And I accepted the post of vice chairman. And I thought it was an absolute honour, pleasure, not just coming from Alistair, but to be considered, even to take on the position.
Yeah.
And then that happened in November at the AGM. I was ratified in as vice chairman, and then unfortunately things took a bit of a turn in the new year where Alistair, understandably, but unfortunately, took that decision to stand down as chairman.
Yeah, yeah.
So sort of, big shoes to fill, as you mentioned earlier on, Rob. But ones that I considered for another couple of weeks when it was asked, would you step up just to get this season over, Rob? Whether you want to call me acting or interim or chairman, it was at that stage of the season where to delay anything, I think, the season was fast approaching, and we needed to keep that momentum going that Alistair had started, and to pause any further would have, well, I don't want to think about that, so I just said, with the support of everybody around me, there's a wealth of experience there, past and present, that I rely on heavily, and they've all given me their full support, so makes it a wee bit easier.
Oh, it's fantastic. I have to say, since that announcement that we've seen on social media and on the website and everything, the outpouring of support for yourself, Andrew, I think everyone was so chuffed to see that you got the job. Yeah.
Yeah, well, most people, I think, were chuffed, yes. It's sort of, like I say, I sit in the wee compiler's office to myself, me and three others, but I'm sort of well known still. I do a lot of running during every Saturday, in particular the drum major arena, but I do help out where I can around. So I've got to know a whole lot of people and make a whole lot of friends. But I think that's the pipe band fraternity. It's a great association to be involved with. It's a great association for kids to grow up in, whether they're in the band or they're just there with their mum and dad to support them, or they're in the pipe band or a drum major themselves. It's a great friendship to have. And I've built on that for the past, I was going to say 10 years, but I've obviously with the kids I've been involved for maybe 15 in total, so great friendships, good relationships have been made. So yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And long may it continue as well. So we need to talk then about this new incoming season. You mentioned it was fast approaching. Well, we know the County Fermanagh Championships are just around the corner, actually.
They are indeed, yep.
So can we talk about the calendar then? This is quite an interesting season for Northern Ireland.
Go ahead, Bob. I'm open for all questions. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I know one of the big, announcements that we've been chatting about on the show here was obviously the UK Championships are no longer here in Northern Ireland. And we spoke all about that, of course, and the choice of the date and everything. And we spoke all around all of that. But one of the things we haven't actually asked about is the competition that's happening at the same time as the Europeans. So we have a competition now in Newcastle and County Down, which wraps everything up for Northern Ireland, doesn't it?
That would be the curtain fall, as to say, of the season, yeah. But that was a contest, Rob, that it was sort of considered with what happened last year. I think Newcastle was on the Saturday, and the UK's was on the Sunday, the day before.
Next day.
It allowed ones then to attend both, but they were rushing away. But turnout, I think, if I'm being honest, and I don't think there'll be too many disagree, from Northern Ireland bands and drum majors was low.
It was.
So it sort of felt, would we try and consider to have the same contest the same day? We had to apply, we had to ask HQ for permission for that, sort of put our case forward. They understood and they accepted that. So, yeah, there's a contest here and that runs in, beside a major. So,
There you go. So it is honestly brilliant news for Northern Ireland bands because we do get that outing that weekend where ordinarily they might not be able to skip across the Irish Sea, compete at the Euros, back home for a few days, and then you're back out again to the Worlds the
yeah.
next week. So it would be 2 weeks on the trot, skipping over to Scotland, which is very
Well,
expensive, you know.
that was another thing, Rob, that we had to consider as well. Because really, you have the
Mm,
four majors over there,
yeah,
and they're really in quick succession when you think about it.
they are.
Drum majors, we're a lot under ourselves. Mummy and Daddy goes and up, but when you take a pipe band, and by the time they pay for a coach and accommodation, or if it's a day trip, which is a long,
Mm,
exhausting day, and then come back, and then next week or the 2 weeks' time, they're having to pay that. And anybody that's sailed with any of our
yeah.
companies that go from Belfast or Lawrence to Scotland, it is not a cheap trip, Rob, you know. So,
No, definitely
you
not.
know, so,
No. When you're lugging uniforms, drums, pipes, the whole shebang, and now you have to have gazebos and all of that now with you as well. It's a whole
exactly.
operation, isn't it?
It
So,
is indeed, yes.
yeah, I think it's a fantastic initiative by the Northern Ireland branch to put on a competition on the same day, you know, to give
Yeah,
that bit of a push, I guess. So I'm all
yeah,
for
yeah.
it, absolutely.
No, good. Glad
But
to hear.
yeah, one of the ones that I'm really excited about, well, there's two, in fact, for the calendar. The first one that I'm really excited about is the All Irelands this year. Oh
Okay, yeah,
my
yeah,
word, this is
yeah.
going to be huge, Andre.
Yeah. We're very much looking forward to it, and it would be remiss of me if I did say that although Alistair has stepped down as chairman, this is something that he had thought about away last year, even before he considered stepping down.
Mm,
And we are pleased and we're grateful to Alistair that he's still on board for the All Irelands, and this is his. To say it true, this is his baby.
this is a
As
bit,
such,
yeah.
he's come up with the great ideas, great suggestions, the great planning, and most of it, in
Yeah.
fairness, was already in place away last year. So I
Mm.
don't want to steal its thunder. I definitely want to make that clear that I'm not jumping on here to take his glory. Alistair is very much still involved. We had a site visit last Tuesday up in Everington Square,
Oh,
which
right,
if
yeah.
anybody was there in 2013, I mean, the difference, it's black and white, really. It's such an
Wow.
improvement, such an area to have. And
Mm.
Alistair was there, very much involved in that. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the All Irelands as well. There's such an interest in the week before. There's lots of fringe events happening that'll come out
Yeah.
in social media and all those formats to well advertised leading up to the week. And of course, the day itself has gained so much interest, So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, it has big time. And yeah, honestly, I think I booked the week off work now. I can't wait for All Ireland week. It's nearly on
Yeah,
a par with World's week now.
okay,
Yeah.
thank you. We'll take that, Rob. Yes. Because it's been interesting. There's a couple of bands coming over from across the water.
Yeah.
At least in Strathclyde are coming over, which is
Mm.
that's a big band we coming over. They were world champions last year.
There you
So
go.
for obviously they're now up into a new grade and coming over, and then we obviously had there's a band coming from Connecticut over in the
Wow.
States
Yeah.
coming, Middletown, the Police Benefit Association pipe band
Oh,
coming over.
fantastic.
They're paying a 4B, but to have that sort of attraction and bands coming from far and wide,
Yeah.
it's great. It just adds to the whole atmosphere of the day.
Oh,
So,
it does absolutely, and I really can't wait for it. So, for those of you listening right now, if you haven't got your entry forms in for the All Ireland, that's definitely one that you should consider for sure. It's going to be a big highlight of the calendar. One of which, ourselves in the Big Rab Show, we broadcast on Fuse FM in Ballymoney.
yeah,
So we're up around the northwest of the province. I have to say, the excitement of the announcement of the return of Portrush competition, it's off the charts. Everyone's losing their minds that we're going back to the port again.
yeah. No, it's another one that myself and everybody seems to be very excited about.
Yeah,
It used to be the final one. The
it
big
did,
blowout
yeah.
after the Worlds. Used to go to the Worlds thing, I was it over, but everybody was
Aye,
still then looking forward to Portrush, and the parade and the kids
that's
doing the
it.
ballet at the time. That was a real fun day. So
Yeah.
okay, yeah, it's not the final contest, but to have it back in the port, yeah, I'm glad it's going back. So
Oh, it's fantastic. I can't wait to see the selfies of people in kilts on the roller coaster and yeah, up the town. That'll be all sorts of good fun. So, Andrew, I think that the season's bright, I think, at the moment for the Northern Ireland branch. I think there's been a serious amount of work behind the scenes putting this calendar together for this year. Can you give us a bit of a flavour of, the teamwork and that happens behind the scenes to make this all possible?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, there is a good calendar, but there's a whole lot of work, Rob, that even I was unaware, but you're soon made aware of it whenever you take on this role. And it's hard to please everybody, I suppose. There's loads of questions, and I can understand that. I was one of those parents last year that go, why don't you do this quicker? Why don't you do that? Why don't
Yeah,
you tell us this or tell us that? But until you step into the role, and not just as chairman, I mean, you have a great team around you there with Danielle and Patricia and Aaron,
yeah.
as well. And
Mm,
they're all been there for years and years, and they're all aware of it. And it's a lot of work. By
yeah.
the time it's not just a matter of making a phone call and phoning a counsellor and saying, listen, we fancy coming there on that date, and they go, yes, come on ahead. It's
It's just not that
definitely,
simple.
it
Yeah.
would be great if there was a magic wand and you could do that, but that is definitely not, there's so much, and it's not as easy now to get the money for the contest. There's a
Mm,
whole lot of paperwork now for funding grants and everything you have to apply for, and you have to do them weeks in advance.
yeah,
And then you have to wait weeks and weeks, sometimes very close to the calendar date itself, before you actually get confirmation.
yeah.
And that's frustrating. And I can understand that for those out there. They're looking at the website or waiting for the location to come up or the confirmed date. And I can
Yeah.
understand that, but we can't just jump ahead and go, it's this, and this until you get the yes, okay from
The
the council,
official rubber
Yeah,
stamp from
yeah,
there you go. Yeah,
yeah, and the site, then you have to do site visits, and yeah,
yeah.
there it's but it's nice and sunny. The site visits are nice, but if it's it's a wet
Imagine
and
the
rainy
rain.
day and you're still
Yeah.
walking around, yeah, it's not good. But yeah, the work involved is yeah, there's a lot of work involved. I'll just leave it at
Oh,
that. I think.
absolutely. Well, full credit to the team behind the scene. Honestly, if you aren't aware of the calendar, it is all up there now on the RSPBA Northern Ireland branch
Yeah,
website. That's across all social media. We've been talking about it on the podcast here every week.
yeah.
So I'm very excited for this incoming season. But what are you particularly looking forward to this year yourself, Andrew?
Apart from the contest itself, Rob, I'm actually looking forward to putting on that chairman hat in the afternoon. I have to
Yes.
say, making the announcements, reading the results, being a compiler, I'm sort of privileged to that information anyway, which I take very seriously.
Mm,
But to stand there as chairman of the Northern Ireland branch, representing the branch, doing those duties at the end, I'm really, really, really looking forward to that.
yeah.
And the All Ireland's really, yeah, it's a joint association contest, with our friends down the IPBBA, who
Yeah.
we've had conversations with and we work closely with. I'm looking forward to that. I don't want to be level any contest. I'm looking forward to them all. They're all going to be great,
Yeah.
smashing, weather like we're having at the minute for
There you
every
go.
Saturday. But the All Ireland, I think, just stands out just slightly, because it's our turn, if you want to call it
There
that.
you
There,
go.
we're
Yeah.
hosting it. The location's brilliant. The surroundings are brilliant. So much for everybody to do, and especially in that week as well, leading up, as those events will be coming out. Which will be supported, I know.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are the two sort of things I'm looking forward to the most, Rob. Yeah.
Fantastic. So you'll be the voice of the van then, reading out the results and
I,
all
I,
that.
I believe so. I believe that one of my duties. Yes,
Wow.
obviously with my companion during the day, there's going to be others helping me throughout the day. If I'm available, I'll do it during the day. But in the early parts, there's no plan there. But like I say, this is all a team. I'm the
Hmm.
chairman. Yes, if you want to put, I'm the face of the association, whatever it is. But
Yeah.
we're very much a team. It's not mine. It's not me.
No.
It's everybody involved. From the stewards to compilers to contest committee to multimedia, getting it out there, advertising, promoting it. It's,
That's
it's
it.
just a huge big team effort, Rob. So
Oh, 100%. And the team is working well at the moment, Andrew. Yeah. So full credit to you
we
all. Absolutely.
yeah, we are indeed. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't think it would
So,
be part of too many WhatsApp groups, but
oh, I bet. Yeah. There you
yeah,
go.
yeah,
So, Andrew, thank you so much for joining us on the show this week. We really appreciate your time. And anyway,
pleasure.
congratulations again on your new appointment. And
Yeah, thank you very much, Rob. Yeah, thank
yeah,
you.
no doubt we'll see you out there in the grass. I'm sure.
Oh,
I'll have
I'm
to
sure you'll
hassle
see
you
me
with a
some
mic.
Saturdays. Yeah, you
Yeah.
will indeed. Yeah.
All right, Andrew. Thanks a million for joining us. All the
Cheers,
best.
Rob. Thanks very much. Appreciate your time. Thank you.